Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge etc. Jai Hind. Historical events of 28th April, a journey through time of 28th April 2025, Monday. Today's that is 28th April highlight in history. 1611. Establishment of the Pontifical and Royal University of Santa Thomas, the Catholic University of the Philippines and the largest Catholic university in the world. 1625. A combined Spanish and Portuguese fleet of 52 ships commences the recapture of Bahia from the Dutch during the Dutch-Portuguese War. 1758. The Marathas defeat the Afghans in the Battle of Attock and capture the city. 1788. Maryland becomes the seventh state to ratify the United States Constitution. 1789. Mutiny on the Bounty. Lieutenant William Bligh and 18 sailors are set adrift and the rebel crew returns to Tahiti briefly before setting sail for Pitcairn Island. 1792. France invades the Austrian Netherlands, present-day Belgium and Luxembourg, beginning the French Revolutionary Wars. 1794. Sardinians, headed by Giovanni Maria Angioi, started a revolution against the Savoy domination, expelling Viceroy Balbiano and his officials from Cagliari, the capital and largest city of the island. 1796. The Armistice of Cherasco is signed by Napoleon Bonaparte and Vittorio Amadeo III, King of Sardinia, expanding French territory along the Mediterranean coast. 1859. The sailing clipper ship Pomona wrecked on the coast of Ireland with the loss of 424 of the 448 passengers and crew aboard. 1869. Chinese and Irish laborers for the Central Pacific Railroad working on the first transcontinental railroad lay 10 miles of track in one day, a feat which has never been matched. 1881. Billy the Kid escapes from the Lincoln County jail in Mesilla, New Mexico. 1887. A week after being arrested by the Prussian secret police, French police inspector Guillaume Quinnebille is released on order of William I, German Emperor, defusing a possible war. 1910. Frenchman Louis Poulhan wins the 1910 London to Manchester Air Race, the first long-distance aeroplane race in the United Kingdom. 1920. The Azerbaijan Soviet Socialist Republic is founded. 1923. Wembley Stadium is opened, named initially as the Empire Stadium. 1930. The Independence Producers host the first night game in the history of organized baseball in Independence, Kansas. 1937. South African medical researcher Max Taylor develops the yellow fever vaccine at the Rockefeller Foundation in New York City. 1941. The Ustase massacre nearly 200 Serbs in the village of Gudovac, the first massacre of their genocidal campaign against Serbs of the independent state of Croatia. 1944. World War II. 9 German E-boats attack US and UK units during Exercise Tiger, the rehearsal for the Normandy landings, killing 946. 945. Benito Mussolini and his mistress Clara Petacchi are shot dead by Walter Odisio, a member of the Italian resistance movement. 1945. The Holocaust. Nazi Germany carries out its final use of gas chambers to execute 33 Upper Austrian socialist and communist leaders in Mauthausen concentration camp. 1947. Thor Heyerdahl and 5 crewmates set out from Peru on the Kon-Tiki to demonstrate that Peruvian natives could have settled Polynesia. 1948, Igor Stravinsky conducts the premiere of his American ballet Orpheus at the New York City Center. 1949, the Hukbalahap are accused of assassinating former First Lady of the Philippines, Aurora Queen Quezon, while she is en route to dedicate a hospital in memory of her late husband. Her daughter and 10 others are also killed. 1952, Dwight D. Eisenhower resigns as Supreme Allied Commander of NATO in order to campaign in the 1952 United States presidential election. 1952, the Treaty of San Francisco comes into effect, restoring Japanese sovereignty and ending its state of war with most of the allies of World War II. 1952, the Sino-Japanese Peace Treaty, Treaty of Taipei, is signed in Taipei, Taiwan between Japan and the Republic of China to officially end the Second Sino-Japanese War. 1965, United States occupation of the Dominican Republic, American troops land in the Dominican Republic to forestall establishment of a communist dictatorship and to evacuate US Army troops. 1967, Vietnam War, boxer Muhammad Ali refuses his induction into the United States Army and is subsequently stripped of his championship and license. 1969, Charles de Gaulle resigns as President of France. 1970, Vietnam War, US President Richard Nixon formally authorizes American combat troops to take part in the Cambodian campaign. 1973, The Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, recorded in Abbey Road Studios, goes to number 1 on the US Billboard chart, beginning a record-breaking 741-week chart run. 1975, General Cao Van Vien, chief of the South Vietnamese military, departs for the US as the North Vietnamese army closes in on victory. 1977, the Red Army faction trials ends, with Andreas Bieder, Gudrun Enslin, and Jan Karl Raspe found guilty of 4 counts of murder and more than 30 counts of attempted murder. 1978, the President of Afghanistan, Mohammad Daoud Khan, is overthrown and assassinated in his coup led by pro-communist rebels. 1983, the West German news magazine Stern begins publishing excerpts from the purported diaries of Adolf Hitler, later revealed to be forgeries. 1986, high levels of radiation resulting from the Chernobyl disaster are detected at Forsmark nuclear power plant in Sweden, leading Soviet authorities to publicly announce the accident. 1988, near Maui, Hawaii, flight attendant Claravelle CB Lansing is blown out of Aloha Airlines Flight 243, a Boeing 737, and falls to her death when part of the plane's fuselage rips open in mid-flight. 1991, Space Shuttle Discovery launches on STS-39, the first unclassified shuttle mission for the United States Department of Defense. 1994, former Central Intelligence Agency counterintelligence officer and analyst Aldrich Ames pleads guilty to giving US secrets to the Soviet Union and later Russia. 1996, Whitewater controversy. President Bill Clinton gives a 41 4.5-hour videotaped testimony for the defense. 1996, Port Arthur massacre, Tasmania. A gunman, Martin Bryant, opens fire at the Broad Arrow Cafe in Port Arthur, Tasmania, killing 35 people and wounding 23 others. 2004, CBS News releases evidence of the Abu Ghraib torture and prisoner abuse. The photographs show rape and abuse from the American troops over Iraqi detainees. Thank you very much for your patience. Request for like, share and subscribe.